We're back here at Kart Kingdom for what is my third members night. Why no video from my second members night, you ask? Well, me being the idiot that I am, managed to accidentally delete the footage from that evening, and if truth be told, I'm not particularly bothered by that, as it wouldn't have made for a great video, as let's just say the night turned out to be one of frustration at the poor driving standards from a number of competitors and the lack of fair stewarding on the night. Although I'm sure being rammed sideways into a barrier on a straight would have at least made for an enjoyable clip for you lot. Anyway, enough said on that, let's get on to this evening's events, which were made all the more interesting by the introduction of age categories and weight limits. Going forward, members' nights have now been broken down into an 8 to 12 years old members' night on a Tuesday evening with a minimum driver weight of 50 kilograms, 12 to 16 year olds on a Sunday evening with a minimum weight limit of 60 kilograms, and 16 years plus also on a Sunday evening with a minimum weight limit of 80 kilograms. For those needing extra ballast to meet the minimum weight limit, Kart Kingdom currently have lead sheeting available to purchase to bring you up to those minimum weights. The format for the evening was a Super Pole qualifying session followed by a 15-minute race. The result of this race would then set the grid for a further 40-minute long race. Stick around for part 2 of this video coming in the near future. During this quali lap, it becomes clear I'm catching a few drivers ahead, so I'm starting to get the feeling the lap was at least good enough for the middle of the pack for the start of race 1, even if it was nowhere near perfect. With my lap done, I head back to the pits with the 38.114 putting me second, but as it turns out, only 3 of us followed through on the one flying lap, and as we wait in the pits, 2 additional faster laps are put on the board and counted, which puts us down to P4 for the start of race 1. All in all, I'm not entirely sure what happened here, but hey ho, on to the race. As standard in Kart Kingdom member nights, we start with the rolling start and await the green flag. Off we go, and I manage to get on the gas earlier than the guy ahead, which pulls me within breathing distance as we cross the start-finish line. My momentum gives me enough to slide down the inside and get up into the podium positions into turn 1. As we head to the hairpin, the guy ahead makes a bit of a mistake, which opens the opportunity for me to take the wider line into the final hairpin, get a better exit and make the move into the final corner. So an absolutely great first lap, but I'm sorry to say there was very little action on my behalf for the rest of this race, as myself and the driver in first place were able to open a considerable gap to the karts behind. However, despite this, I have to say that this next period was the most enjoyable driving I have had so far in any kart. Since setting my best lap time of 37.364 on this track back in August 2025, I have forever been chasing it unsuccessfully, and truth be told, my driving has been nowhere near as good enough or consistent enough as I would like it to be. All that was about to change as during the remaining laps of this race I was finally able to find some speed, control and consistency to at least satisfy myself. After a few settling in laps, I start to feel much more comfortable with the extra weight in the cart, and I'm starting to feel that this will be the night that personal best time is broken. We did it! 8 months later and we've finally done it. Whilst I'm over the moon to finally beat that darn time, and you can slightly hear me give out a yell in celebration, I actually remained quite calm and composed after this moment. And spoiler alert, my best may not end just here. Let's see how many times we can push that PB lower. So, race 1 done. Very happy with the P2. Far beyond what I expected for this race, but truth be told, what I was most pleased about was beating that 37.364. I've lost count of the number of times I've been to the track since setting that time, only to walk out of the pit lane wanting to bang my head against a wall. But now it's gone and I can finally look forward to the next event. Well, with this being race 1 of 2 on Members Night, you'll just have to stick around and see how I get on race 2. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next lap.